In this video, I'm going to share with you some jazz piano licks exercises. Hey, it's Tobey here. Thanks for joining me. This is part 4 in our 5 stages of modern harmonic progression. The whole concept of riffs and licks. You know, jazz is a language. And if you just play scales all day long and you just learn the basic chords, you're not really understanding the whole process of jazz. Language is something that you learn over time. It becomes part of your makeup and experience. As you learn new things, you apply them, you remember them, and you continue to improve and add to the language of jazz. So in this video, I'm going to do a couple of things. The first one is I'm going to show you the difference between riffs and licks. And then I'm going to actually give you 3 really powerful licks that you can use in your playing pretty much anywhere. They're based on blues. And in this video, we're going to focus on the tune by Herbie Hancock, known as Cantaloupe Island. I've done other tutorials on this, but this one's specifically focused on the whole concept of riffs and licks. All right, let's dive in and get started. As you look at the sheet music on the page, you'll notice that there's this pattern that continues, not just for the F minor chord, but also for D flat 7. And that's what we call a riff. A riff is like an ostinato pattern that continues over time. It's something that you play over. It's something that you would do for several bars at a time. Whereas a lick is kind of like a short bite of information, of music that you perform over top of a riff. So this particular riff works like this. And it continues on like that. So that's what a riff is. It's this pattern that you play repeatedly, and it generally tends to make like a really good backing for a song. So for example, you'll notice that I went into the melody, but I still kept that riff going underneath. Not the easiest thing to do, but I'm going to give you this sheet music in just a few moments. I'll put a link to it so you can download it and practice it. So then out of that comes the whole concept of licks. And licks are things that you would play in your soloing that are based on traditional licks by other players. Now, you can obviously make up your own, and that's a really good thing to do. But over time, there's been so much music played by so many different musicians that it's a good idea to pick up some of the things that they do. And those are the things that I'm going to share with you in this video. So let's scroll down here. And I've got basically 3 licks over the F minor 7th chord. Now, the interesting thing about this tune is it's really based in blues. So if you look at the blues scale, and I've got lots of videos on my channel about blues, these riffs are based on that particular scale. Now that, in and of itself, could be a lick. But there was a lot of notes in there. So let's go a little bit more simple and let's take a look at some of the licks that I've written out. So here's the first one. Now you can probably ascertain from that 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 sounds pretty traditional in terms of blues. And the faster it's played, the better it sounds. Really, it's just based on blues. The interesting thing about it is you've got these B naturals, which are really the blue notes in the blues scale. And what we've done here is we've used those blue notes to kind of attack the C natural. They're like grace notes, if you will. Now, interestingly enough, the left hand plays part in that lick by laying down first the octaves here, and then this fourths, where you've got the 7th, the 3rd, and then the 13th of the chord. It's a really nice sound, and it just kind of lets the right hand do its thing. On the accents, it's really about the and accents that you have to get those chords. And I think if you played that pretty much on any blues, whether it was swing or straight ahead like this one, it would probably work out for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second one here, where we've got really the same amount of time. It's over 2 bars, and it's also starting on the end of 1, but it's a little bit different. Now, my notation music didn't catch these. These are basically triplets. So again, very traditional in its nature. I think one of the things that you should first take a look at is this chord that is spelled here. So this is 3, 5, 7, and 9, and 11 of F minor 7. And when you proceed the first third with this D natural, it's like a half step below. That's a lick you hear quite a lot. And then at the top, this is basically under, over, under, destination. So it's always about getting to the destination note by going under and over and a combination of those. So first we have the triplets, and then the under and over. And then we have these 16th note triplets. We've got this one here and this one here. Those 16th note triplets are things that you hear a lot of in jazz. And so on and so forth. So let's play the lick one more time. Well, I could have done that, but the lick is written like this. Okay, so there's a really cool lick. Let's move on to the last one that I've written out for you. It's a little hard to play because your fingers have to stretch, and the bottom 3 notes are this. 2, 3, 1 fingers, and then you have to hold this 5th on the top. Now, this is basically a lick from the tune Comin' Home Baby, and Hank Jones is the one that actually gave me this lick, so it's kind of cool. So if you're playing that in the context of a solo, let's say over the tune Cantaloupe Island, okay, so as you can see, you're supposed to take these licks, insert them into your soloing in key strategic places. Okay, so there's 3 licks that you can use in your arsenal. I think they're important licks, and definitely you can use them repeatedly throughout your soloing. Okay, I'm going to put a link to this sheet music where you can download those licks, study them, and memorize them and perform them. I'm going to put that link up here in the corner. And just to remind you, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, please do so. Just hit the little bell when you do, because you'll be notified of all of the upcoming videos that we are making. Hey, it's Tobey once again. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in another video.